Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to PIDC and our webinar this morning where we are featuring Comcast RISE and its services to businesses across the country. In addition to hosting Comcast RISE representatives, we also have a panel of local business owners who applied and were successful in receiving these Comcast RISE services. So make sure you are getting your questions ready, any comments. If you happen to be on this webinar this morning joining us and you are the recipient of any of the Comcast RISE services, make sure you let us know that in the chat. We want to encourage every business owner in Philadelphia to make sure they are taking advantage of all of these opportunities. So I'm Marla Hamilton with PIDC, and again, we'd like to welcome you. We're scheduled to go until 11:30 this morning, and so we want to make sure that we've left enough time to answer all of your questions and get any comments and feedback. So without further delay, it is my pleasure to welcome Mr. James LaValle, who is with Comcast RISE. And with Comcast RISE, he is Marketing and Sales Development Director, formerly which was Comcast Spotlight. He heads up Marketing and Sales Development now for Effective, which was formerly Comcast Spotlight, and it is the advertising sales division of Comcast Cable. In this role, he's responsible for driving revenue for the company. He leads various divisions of the Effective marketing team, which includes sales, marketing, creative services, demand generation, network relations. He also develops the vision, the mission, the strategy, and the goals for his team of 200 professionals who are located countrywide. James comes to Effective with Comcast with more than 20 years of experience in advertising, sales, marketing. He's been with Effective since 2017, although he's been with Comcast longer than that. He was a key executive member in launching this program. And so we are honored today to have the key driver to this Comcast RISE initiative nationwide. We are fortunate to have him with us this morning. And James just comes with a lot of experience in working with businesses in sales and marketing. So it makes sense that he visualized what this could be for Comcast in reaching out to small businesses. Our moderator for today for our panel is going to be my colleague, Arthur Jimenez. Arthur has been with PIDC for 4 years now. He's our director of business development. So a lot of you will interact with Arthur as he is trying to find you, to assess your needs, and to provide all of the services, financial services, business support services. He's got a great history in working with small business lending, small business development, economic development, management consulting. And prior to joining PIDC, he was the director of lending at the Enterprise Center, who so many of you have also worked with, and a great PIDC partner. And so now I am going to turn this program over to James. Take it away, James.
Thank you so much, Marla, and thank you so much, PIDC, for having me. And good morning, Philly. So very excited to be here. As Marla stated, it is my honor to be one of the executive leads and creators of the Comcast RISE program. As Marla also stated, we really, when we developed the program, we really looked at the assets that Comcast had. And the two divisions that really bubbled up for us in the small business space was really Effective, which is my side, and also the Comcast business side. So within each of us, we looked internally and looked at what we could offer to small business owners, even outside of grants or money. We really wanted to look at opportunities and services and business services that would really truly help people grow their business. And I think that that's what you'll see, as I take you through the Comcast RISE program and the different offerings that you can have. Within the Comcast RISE program itself, it is a quarterly based grant program. So basically, every single quarter we have new winners. The deadline was up on the screen earlier. So this current round ends on July 31st. And the next round opens on August 1st. So you can reapply after, winning if you've already won one of the offerings. With a little bit of an asterisk there. If you won the creative and media, you can't win just the media again, but you could win the Comcast Business Technology Makeover. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and kind of take you through a quick presentation of the Comcast RISE program. And truthfully, I want to not just save time for questions, but I really want to get to our panelists, because you don't really want to hear it from me. You want to hear it from the folks who we are trying to impact. But first things first, let me take you through a quick video.
Businesses are largely in COVID. Small businesses have been almost twice as likely to shutter.
Disproportionately so.
More than half of Black business owners
struggling to obtain federal paycheck protection.
COVID-19 on African Americans.
Somehow we always find a way to rise.
To the blueprint builders, to the backbones of every block, to the late night legends and the pioneers of legacy, for the curators of the culture, for the family franchise, and for generations to follow. You might fall, but never fail. Keep rising, keep rising, keep rising. Apply today for a variety of business, marketing, and tech makeovers on us to help your rise.
Still gives me chills. I love that spot. Comcast RISE stands for Representation, Investment, Strength, and Empowerment. And it was born out of Comcast's commitment back in 2020 to move forward DE&I efforts across the board, whether that be in the social justice area or in this case, in the small business area. We are hyper targeting small business owners that are people of color. That's exclusively what the Comcast RISE program is for. As the commercial stated, we know that you guys have been disproportionately hit due to COVID, social unrest, and also just in general. Let's take it outside of COVID for a second. You guys haven't had access or easy access to, business loans and other services that are afforded to your counterparts. So I think that, trying to right the ship with this program was one of definitely the key tenets to it. In addition to that, we really wanted to put, our money and our business acumen where our mouth is in regards to the communities that we support. We are across the country in many major metropolitan areas, and we really wanted to not just be the name on the side of a stadium or, your cable operator. We are in these communities. Our teams live in these communities. So it is imperative that you guys survive, because small business owners are the cornerstone of our communities. Back to RISE, the representation, the way we see that is really with, the on-air and media package, in my world, because I think that a lot of you probably have not advertised on television before, for various number of reasons. Not having a commercial spot probably is being one of them, but maybe it's too expensive, et cetera. But increasing the representation of minority business owners on television through commercial advertising was one of the key tenets. investment is not just the investment of our business services. Earlier in the year, we did have an investment grant program, and Philly was one of the kickoff cities for that. So that is kind of as we see the investment. The strength is really the Comcast business side of that technological strength and infrastructure from a technical standpoint to really put into your businesses, making sure your Wi-Fi connection is top notch, cybersecurity, et cetera. And the empowerment is really where the education comes in. We know you guys work 8 days a week, 25 hours in a day, and don't have time to do research, to find out about other programs such as ours, because we know we're not the end all and be all of programs. We want you guys to get access to as many things as possible and resources as possible. So the empowerment piece is really that education piece. For those of you who are Comcast subscribers and have an X1 box, you can say Comcast RISE into your voice remote. And it takes you to the Comcast RISE area on the X1. There you'll see other stories of small business owners from around the country and other programs. Because one of the biggest things that I find about this program is really, you never know where you're going to get inspiration from. You never know where you're going to get information from. And from another business owner and hearing from another business owner, that inspires you. But also what I will say is that you guys, again, cornerstone of our communities, you hire from our communities. You never know when you're hiring the kid, in high school whose first job is at your store or at your business, how that inspires them and could set them on a different path because they see somebody that looks like them succeeding and owning a business. They might not have ever thought of that. So those are the type of pieces of inspiration that you guys provide even beyond the actual service or whatever you're selling within your communities. So, that's why I love you guys. And that's why we really want you guys to succeed. So just going into the program a little bit more, again, it's quarterly, open to anybody who's been in business for more than a year. On the Comcast business side, on the tech makeover, no more than 25 full-time or part-time employees. On the consultation media and creative side, we have up to 100 employees. And again, the different services that we offer, consulting. We do a deep dive into your business, and actually we are testing out, because this program, the great part about this program is it's always evolving, it's always moving, it's always getting feedback. And with the consultation, we are looking into an additional aspect of the consultation. So there might be a coaching mechanism involved in that for up to a year. So the consultation might be morphing a little bit, where we are a part of it, of course, but you guys might have support of experts for up to a year outside of Comcast, which is great. The media support is a 90-day media schedule for those of you who do have a 30-second commercial spot ready to go. For those of you who don't have a commercial spot, we actually create a turnkey commercial spot for you, working directly with you guys to include any videos or images that you might have from your business. And in addition to creating the 30-second media spot, we also actually give you a 90-day media schedule in your area as well. And then on the tech side, from our Comcast business friends, we do a technology makeover, which results in a review of your current technological stack. And then basically they, based on that review and assessment, they provide you with either computer equipment, internet, voice, cybersecurity services for up to 12 months. We are expanding that scope on the technological side, where before it had to be brick and mortar. So you had to physically have a storefront, if you will. But now there's talks internally to actually expand that to home-based businesses as well, where you might not get the internet, voice, and cybersecurity, but there might be computer equipment, that you could get to help move your business forward. So again, I wanted to, and go to ComcastRISE.com to check out the program. Please sign up. We award, and it's not just like 10 awardees per quarter. I mean, we award 11, 1,200, winners every single quarter from across the country. So, the chances of winning are actually very high. And also, like I said before, if you've won consultation, for example, you can reapply and potentially win media or creative production or technology makeover. So please reapply to the program, because again, we want to help as many people, small business owners, as possible throughout this program. So with that, I will actually stop sharing and I will turn it over to Art to take us, I think, to the panel.
Thanks, James. And thank you again for putting together this Comcast RISE program. As we've heard, the Comcast RISE program offers several services to our, to several lucky applicants, to many lucky applicants. Again, that includes the creative production, tech makeover, media spots, and all their consulting services. And again, that deadline has been extended to July 31st, 2021. So please apply. And I think Marla just posted that link just for the folks who don't have that. And we're also very fortunate to have an amazing panel of small business owners that hires from our local community and provides essential services to our neighborhoods. So I'm going to go through a brief introduction for each panelist, and we'll kick off some questions afterwards. We have Cecilia Torres joining us from Casa Papel. Casa Papel is a full-service, one-stop graphic design and specialty print studio specializing in custom wedding invitations, which I hear she's having a lot today, this year in 2021. And also providing logo and branding design services. Casa Papel focuses on helping their clients know what to say and how to say it beautifully in print and design. We also have Mikhail Racin from Champion Dentistry joining us. Champion Dentistry is a general and cosmetic dentist office located in the Overbrook section of West Philadelphia. They offer affordable and flexible dental care, and Champion Dentistry has been providing excellent dentistry care for over 30 years. Amazing. We also have David Sims from Eatable Delights Catering. Eatable Delights is a full-service off-premise catering business that takes catering to the artistry level. Started in 1996 by Chef David Sims. Chef Sims is expanding and will be soon add a restaurateur to his growing bio with an opening of the Roots Place Cafe at the mixed-use development named on New Market West at 59th Market in West Philadelphia. Eatable Delights provides catering and major events and provides private events and has been featured in the Philadelphia Inquirer, the Philadelphia Tribune, and the Philadelphia Business Journal, and more. And lastly, we have Ann Turner from Hair du Jour Salon. She's a hairstylist and owner of Hair du Jour Salon and is also located in the Overbrook section of West Philadelphia. She has over 25 years of experience in color, conditioner treatments, and relaxers. Hair du Jour specializes in hair care, hair loss, and hair restoration needs. Again, thank you, panelists, for making the time to to share your experiences today about talk more about your business and also sharing your experiences with the Comcast RISE services. So let me start with Cecilia Torres. Can you, I introduced you already, but can you add anything else that that we don't know about your business, and why did you decide to apply to the Comcast RISE services?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay.
Clearly.
Great. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to this panel, and I appreciate all the work that you guys have been doing, and of course the award. And also, when Marla asks you to do something, you do something, you follow through. So thank you, Marla, for inviting me. So a little bit about my business is I've been in business for 12 years. It all started kind of as a passion project, the old kitchen table story that just kind of morphed into bigger and better things. Let's see, what else? I guess my reason for applying for the grant was, last year was just a horrible year. I'll just say it. I mean, it was just awful. Things were just falling off, and and so I really had to take a look at what was expense-wise, what was necessary, what was absolutely, you know, what could I trim away, what could I do to just kind of lighten the load of things, and honestly, and you know, they'll remain nameless, but it's pretty obvious who they are. But I was not getting the services, the internet services that I was needing. It was spotty. The connections were sometimes great, sometimes not great. So I was really dissatisfied with my current provider. So this program came along, and I thought, you know, there's no harm in applying. The worst I could do is not apply, because then if you don't apply, you never know. So apply and win the grant. And so because graphic design is my livelihood, you need to have everything running. You know, you need your tech, you need your internet, you need phone, you need everything running at its maximum potential. So so this was kind of a no-brainer with you know, having to switch over to Comcast and let go of the other was just an easy you know, a no-brainer. When I was asked by the other internet provider as to why I was switching, you know, why was I canceling my service, I told them what I was awarded, and the woman on the phone was like, "Oh yeah, go for it." You know, if I was in your shoes, I would be doing the same thing. So it was kind of funny, you know, that they said, "Yeah, that's a no-brainer. That of course you're getting this equipment and you're getting a year of internet services, phone, of course, do it." So so yeah, every little, I guess, long story short, is every little bit helps. You know, if I don't have to have this internet service bill for a year, every little bit helps. That means it's just, you know, I can kind of breathe a little sigh of relief that's covered. I got that. So so anyhow, happy things are happening now. Things are opening up again. So where things are looking real positive this coming year. Very optimistic. But I think back to what James was saying earlier about getting inspiration from other business owners. You know, this is still trying times and still hard, but I do look at other businesses and get inspiration of like, wow, that's really neat what they're doing. And you come away, I mean, I'm always looking for inspiration. I never claim to know the answers or have the answers. I just do what I do and do what I can do best. And if someone can take a little something away from what I've done or have, you know, great. But I look to others always and see what they're doing and be inspired by what they're doing. So anyhow, I'll end with that. So
Thank you for sharing that, Cecilia. Let's go next to Mikhail Racine. How about you? Can you give a little background on your business, and also what services did you receive?
Hi there, my name's Mikhail Racine, and I'm with Champion Dentistry. We are the House of Smiles. We've been creating healthy, bright smiles for 30 years. We have been using Comcast on the personal side, not on the business side. We went through COVID, as Cecilia clearly stated. All I can ask is during this time, it seemed like we needed to learn a new skill, and that was grant and application writing, which I heretofore had never spent so much time on. So the PPP loan process came, first round was a nightmare, couldn't win that. I was feeling like such a freaking loser. There was all these grants, PIDC had a grant, we didn't get that either. So Comcast was like, okay, we know them, but ready to lose again. Actually had a situation with Comcast because we're a dental office. We've got x-rays, big equipment, servers, data, blah, blah, blah. We won the tech makeover, but you only were going to give us like $250K. We actually would have to downgrade on the internet. Didn't get the laptop, didn't get the iPad. I was like, well, can't we just get the iPads then? The guy is like, nope, it's all or nothing. So he went back, and luckily through some flexibility, we were able to switch and get the creative solution, which made more sense, which was a pain point that COVID only amplified, that our marketing sucked and we needed to improve on it. And what a great way to work with our partner, Comcast. It's been a pleasure kind of pivot again. And so we got the 30-second commercial, which we've never done before. And a funny story, my son, who knows none about any of this, gets a call from a former coach of his saying, man, your dad's really blown up. I just saw him on a commercial during the Phillies game. Now, I've never seen that commercial, but we've gotten calls from former patients and other folks that have seen us across many networks that we would have never been able to access before. So we're on the Effective TV platform. We're in month, I guess, 2 of our 90-day engagement. And again, very grateful for this opportunity.
Thanks for sharing that, Mikhail. And yeah, we've heard great things about the media that you're given and the spotlight you're given. That's great to hear. How about you, David? David Sims for Eatable Delights Catering. I think you have a similar story.
Good morning. Yes. How are you?
Good morning.
Good. So I am very thankful to have been able to receive the Comcast RISE grant. And good morning to everyone and to all the other panel. And good morning to James as well from Comcast. So the Comcast RISE for me was extremely helpful. I'm one that already believes in advertising. So I applied for the financial grant as well as the advertising. I didn't really need the technology grant because I had actually received another grant from the city last year, and I was able to get all the technology that I needed. But with that being said, what the Comcast RISE grant did for me was it allowed me to actually come to everyone's living room. So by having the ability to be able to reach 28 internet channels, and I chose Montgomery County, Central Bucks County, as well as Southern Bucks County, so that I could reach a targeted audience that may not know about Eatable Delights Catering. Most of the people in Philadelphia has had the wonderful experience of Eatable Delights Catering and the food that we provide, the service that we provide, and all of the things that are assets to any event, which includes event planning services. So when I heard about the Comcast grant and I didn't get the financial part, I really wasn't discouraged because I had received other grants. And the first week, I mean, literally the first week, I was getting calls from people that knew me, people that were coming into at that time, which was my curbside takeout and delivery portion of the restaurant. It gave people an idea on a caterer that was full service that may not have known about me. And it just was an asset to my portfolio to partner with Comcast, to be able to reach people that may not have known about what it is that we did. The great thing about, and James, I know that you're going to be happy to hear this, but I renewed my subscription for 3 months. And the reason that I renewed my subscription for 3 months was because it is essential for every small business owner to advertise. That was one of the budgets that I didn't cut during the pandemic. I found creative ways at how it was that I could continue to do advertising, and being able to reach so many people in so many different demographics and on so many channels. Originally, I was only interested in having 5 channels, but they gave me 28. Do you know what that could do for your business, for any of the people that's here on the panel or any of the people that may be watching, how essential or what the cost would be for advertising, and for Comcast to just support us small businesses and do all the things that they did for us and all the small businesses is really paramount.
That's great, Dave. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and I think you really highlight the fact that you need to be advertising more, and not just your own market, like the Philadelphia market, but you need to go beyond that to really elevate your brand. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
And no problem. And last but not least, how about Miss Ann Turner from Hair de Jour Salon? Can you please give background again on your business and what services did you apply and actually receive?
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Ms. Marla and Mr. James and everybody else with PIDC. I'm truly humble and blessed to be able to work with so many amazing leaders outside of PIDC. PPIA is on a call, and all of our small businesses had to struggle through 2020. And just working together, it allowed us to get resources like the Comcast RISE grant. And I think the discouraging part was we did get denied a lot. So we had to keep saying, hang in there, hang in there. So I've been self-employed at Hair de Jour Salon for over 30 years. I'm a fighter. So for me, when I would get frustrated, I would call one of my friends like, I don't know how to do this application. So the reality of it is, like Mikhail said, this was a whole new space, the digital, the marketing. So when I received the computers, I told Ms. Marla, it felt like Christmas because I was so used to just working, taking classes, but never really receiving some of the things that these bigger companies offer. So for me, I was sharing with all my friends, hey, you need to apply. You need to make sure that and we're not going to get it. So a lot of times we as small businesses get frustrated, we get discouraged. But when they see people like myself, like, hey, Ian, you've been doing this, you've been doing that, let me still hang in there, let me fill this out. And so for me, it's just been a blessing. This whole journey showed us what we're made of in our communities, not just with running a business, but actually helping with COVID, like being the face for dealing with the pandemic and how do we bring our customers back in safely? How do we work together as small businesses and not hide information? I think one of the things we got out of this is we're stronger together. Like, I love having my own business. I love being able to work and just really educate the next generation. So the computers allowed me to do training in my salon. It's allowed us when we have to do material, like, hey, I got a computer, take this, and we can work on some things. And so I can say the Comcast RISE grant has truly been a blessing. And even learning about the media portion of it, we do have to learn how to take advantage of opportunities when they come our way and not be afraid. So if I could say anything else, thank you, James, for really being an advocate for small businesses and telling our story. I think looking at videos show that we are impacted if we're not present. So if we are no longer in our neighborhoods, how can we make a difference to that young man that needs a job, to that young brother or sister that was incarcerated that need an opportunity in the beauty industry? I think highlighting those stories really showed why the Comcast grant was beneficial. And seeing so many of us awarded, it was like, okay, there's hope for small businesses in Philadelphia. So thank you.
Thanks, Ann. And are there any questions from, so I guess, does anyone else want to share before we go to the audience, the online audience? Is there any reason why? I think, we're learning that we'll re-emphasizing that the Comcast RISE program has been extended to July 31st, 2021. Do any parents want to share any reasons you should apply and what are they missing out on? And how long did it take you to fill out the application? Were there, it seems pretty straightforward, but is there, I guess, is there any other ways we can encourage more people to apply?
So if I can answer that, I think that once you ask certain questions, you allow the other business owners to say, you have to language it this way. And of course, we're not going to fudge the information, but it can be overwhelming when you don't understand the question. So I think with the Comcast RISE grant, it was very simplistic. So it was an easy application to fill out. I just think that small businesses are in a fatigue where they say, we see all this information being flooded. What's the scam? Yep. What's the real thing? And then with the PPP and then the SBA, it's like our brains are so fogged. So I would have to say, being very transparent to small businesses, fill it out. You have until July the 31st. I've talked to a lot of our barbershops and hair salons, and they're all on point for filling it out as of today. A lot of them forgot about it. They saw it a month and a half ago, and they looked at it, and they say, hey, I got to get back to that, and they never did. So I think throughout the city, that's when some of my other businesses outside of the barbershop and hair salons, they've been going through the same thing. So I think making sure that we put it in front of people's faces and saying the deadline is July 31st, fill it out, is worth it.
Yeah.
And I will say, just to add to that, yeah, the application, hopefully we made it. We knew that you guys were doing PPPs and everything else under the sun. So every aspect of this program we tortured endlessly before we released. And the application was one of those things that we tortured, because we heard directly, and actually we did a couple of little focus groups with Philly-based and other small business owners and chambers of commerce actually across the country, and asked them what they were up against. And they were like, man, I do not have time to be filling out survey after survey and getting all this paper and all that stuff. So we wanted to make sure that the application was as easy as humanly possible for people to fill out. And I'm hoping that people feel that way about the program. But also July 31st, just to be clear, July 31st is the deadline for this round of RISE. But if you do not make it into this round, and you were not able to fill it out, and literally, I think people said on average, it takes about 10 minutes to fill out. So hopefully it's that easy for you. But if you are not, for some reason, able to fill it out by the 31st, our next round opens up on August 1st. And so, again, this is a quarterly program. It's till the end of 2022. So please keep reapplying, and again, one thing, a question came up that I just want to clarify in the Q&A. Somebody said that they applied and didn't get it. And, are there any tips to, figuring out what they could have done differently without even looking into their application, assuming that you've been around for at least a year, in business for a year? What ends up happening is, the applications come in and we've gotten overwhelming qualified applicants. So you guys go into a qualified applicant pool. And again, if it's, if we have 6,000 applicants and we can only, award 1,200, right? At some point, everybody's going to be equal in that application pool. And then it's kind of by chance, truthfully. So, there's a whole scoring rubric that we do with an outside company that ends up selecting. But truthfully, when it comes down to it, you might have, 1,500 qualified applicants, and we can only select 1,200. That's why we constantly tell people reapply, especially if the minimum qualification, you're kind of checking that box. So
okay, well, James, so you said that, so if they don't, or if they're not, if they don't win the award this quarter, they can reapply. They have to reapply for the next quarter.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And then, again, then if you've won before, you could reapply again. So some of the folks on the panel who won the, creative and media could reapply and potentially win the technology makeover if they wanted, or something like that. And when you look at the application, you can actually check off the box. You can check all the boxes for all 4 awards, but you can check off a box that if you're just hyper focused on technology makeover and that's the one you want to focus on, just check that box. So you'll be in that pool of applicants, for potential winners.
Arthur, if I can add, the kind of services that Comcast is providing, those are the same topics we hear all the time that are lacking with small businesses. And even when you know that you're lacking in those areas, you oftentimes don't have the cash flow to be able to afford to hire the professionals to come in and provide you with those services. And so don't look at it as, well, I need cash. This is cash, because you're getting, and oftentimes we get cash and we don't know where to find the professionals to provide us with the service. This, who Comcast is. You know that they have an organization, an international organization that's going to provide you with top shelf professional services. So, and it's not one time. That's the other thing. So many of the emergency grant programs and loan programs, it was one time. You submit your application, you are one and done. This time, you can keep applying and keep applying until you get an award for multiple services. And James said they're going to keep accepting applications until December of next year, not even this year, December of next year. So you've got the rest of 2021, and you've got all of 2022. Please, please take advantage of this outstanding opportunity. I haven't heard of anything like this during this entire pandemic. And so we really applaud Comcast for everything they're doing across the country, but especially right here in their own backyard.
Yep, totally. I think most of the questions on the Zoom chat have been answered. There was one question about from Timmy Kilgore. Does the family childcare have any good chances? I've been in business for 3 years. My business often gets overlooked and denied for everything. Family childcare is an important business and does not get the credit it deserves, which I agree with well. James, are there select industries or all industries are encouraged to apply?
All industries are welcome as long as you're not a nonprofit. Nonprofit kind of goes into a different category for us, and but all categories, have been winners who are profit centers. So as long as you're a for-profit company, then you have a chance of winning. So sometimes people in the past, have been a nonprofit church or a school, and they were denied because there's other programs that Comcast runs out of a different division completely that kind of helps those folks.
Okay.
Arthur, one of the things I put in the chat for anyone who is doubtful or skeptical about this, Comcast even publicizes all of the award winners. And so you can go, we put the link in the chat. You can open the link and see by state and then by city, every award winner from the grant program and every quarter from the services portion. So there's November of 2021, a list from November, a list from March of this year, and then the latest is the list from June. So go on that link, scroll down to Pennsylvania, and I guarantee everybody on this call, I promise, there will be somebody on that list that you know. And that's what happened. And so if you doubt anybody on this call, go down that list and there's somebody on that list that you know, and give them a call and hear what they say about the program.
Yeah, a good point, Marla. You can look at that list. I'm looking at the one for June recipients 2021. There's 17 pages of recipients, of winners for all different states, all different, across the country. Let's see, Houston, Philadelphia, other cities I haven't heard of, in like Michigan. So they've been very transparent, which doesn't happen a lot, or it takes a very long time for them to show the results. So I think, more likely now you probably know somebody who's received an award. You can ask them questions about, what their experience was.
And again, that's by design. We want to promote you guys as much as possible. And by publishing the winners list, people in Philly or in any of these markets might be able to go to that list and say, hey, you know what? I haven't been, to Edible Delights. Let me check them out. You know what I mean? I haven't been to hair, so that's kind of the community that we want to feed into. We want to build, and we want to just get your names out there as much as humanly possible, for anybody to take advantage of, and specifically for you guys to just continue to get that type of promotion.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that sounds like it has been designed really well. Are there any other questions that we're missing?
Hey, Arthur, I see in the chat, there's someone who was the recipient of the tech makeover, Natalie McNeil. How about if we can unmute Natalie, and Natalie, just tell us in 30 seconds how this has helped your Ends Hair Salon and Day Spa. Also a member of PPIA.
Natalie, is that you?
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. We hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm at work and I have my earpieces in, so I just text that in. But yes, I on this and actually being able to have these iPads and the computer systems because computer, but it was kind of old actually. So being able to get these newer and also the iPads, and that has helped us to come up with some programs where we are going to have our clients participate in going online and actually while they're in here giving us reviews, which will help move us up in the Google searches and also help us to get more presence on the internet, which is a great thing, which we have to have these days. And again, those some of the areas where I was lacking, but with these things now able at disposal, and now also we can have a computer up front and we can also have a computer in the back of the salon. So we don't have to go back and forth to get on the one computer. Now we have multiple computers and the iPads, and the clients actually love it. Some of them will even just use the iPad to log in and search some things on the internet while they're in here as for their own entertainment. So I am very grateful to have been awarded. I was super excited when James called me and told me that I was like, you would have thought, of course it was Christmas. It was Christmas for me and my business. But yeah, I am grateful and thankful. And as I said, the process was not very hard, especially after filling out all these other applications. This one was actually easy. Again, that's my story, and anyone that's considering it, apply. I also know quite a few businesses that have received the awards, whether it be, I have a few friends have gotten commercial. So I'm continuing to apply myself because hopefully maybe I'll get granted or awarded another one of these grants to help to continue to level up my business.
Thank you, Natalie, for sharing that. It's great. I mean, we heard that you were able to refresh you already had computer equipment, but it sounded like it was dated. So you were able to get that updated by Comcast RISE. And now you have multiple computers, right? So now you can kind of streamline some of your workflow in your office, at the salon. So things can get done faster. Even like you can even have some clients log in. And you said you asked them to add reviews to increase your rankings. Yep.
Yes, the marketing person had told me this. So how the clients are actually inside your business, if you will just hand them, it's so convenient to just hand them. It's already logged in, and all they have to do is go in and put there. So that has been great. And so I can even say in probably the last 4 or 5 months, gotten a lot more clients from the neighborhood even, because they said they're Googling us and we're coming up like in the top rankings. So they've come to visit us. And these are people that never would have known about it.
Wow.
Not for that. So we're super excited.
Yeah, it's tips like that. It's sharing like that with other small business owners who don't know about that little trick. You know what I mean? That is what, sharing this information, the community that you guys have, that's what's all about. Because I think that that's one thing where, and we run into that when we award the consultation, where we give actionable items after that consultation, like Natalie just said, where it's like, this didn't cost you any money. You know what I mean? This is just trying to get people to write a review so you move up in the Google ranking. Like, it's kind of somewhat gaming the system, to some extent, but also it's utilizing the system that Google set up, different words that you can use and that type of thing. But yes, sharing this type of information is critical for everyone.
Marla, you said we had a raised hand. I can't find the raised hand.
Let's see. I don't see it now. So I'm going to take some privileges and I'm going to call out someone who I know does a lot of work with small businesses. and has been a great partner with us. So Jim Hale, you're on this call. Any comments, any feedback? If you can unmute Jim Hale.
Hi, Marla. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep,
Yes, we
I can too. Hey, Jim.
Well, I can tell you, I know at least 3 of the award winners. One is a member of the Black Business Leadership Coalition. That would be Ann. The other 2 would be Michaela and Kaza Patel. They are Goldman Sachs alumni. I think this is a really great program, and I will make certain I tell everybody about it, particularly the part about that you can continually apply. And truth be known, I have to tell you, I'm a former alumni of Comcast, so this makes me feel really good about what they are doing.
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to call somebody else out. Martha Lewis, I'm calling you out.
Hello, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, Martha.
I'm sorry, I'm with a customer. I was doing business. My apologies.
You go ahead and you go ahead and do your business.
I'm sorry, Marla. How are you though?
I'm doing well. Martha's got a food service company, and James, this is such a wonderful opportunity with small businesses, especially with technology. If you're in the retail business, point of sale systems, tracking CRMs with clients. Mikhail said someone saw Champion on a commercial during a Phillies game. Imagine the reach that you get with that. So somebody's got their hand raised. Who's got their hand raised? Ramona Mercer. We're going to unmute you, Ramona.
Well, she has her question in the chat. She said, how will we know when to apply if we are a mobile company? Mobile company meaning that you don't have a brick and mortar, right? So if that's the case, then you can apply at any time. Literally, there's no, right or wrong time to apply. So please apply, ComcastRISE.com. There's no kind of set timetable surrounding that other than the deadline of the 31st for this current round. And then, like I said, August 1st, the next round opens. So.
Okay, I'm taking liberties again. Tina Peltzer. Let's unmute Tina.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, Tina. We hear you loud and clear.
You hear me loud and clear? Okay, good. I'm traveling, so please excuse me. But I'm a member of PPIA with Ann Turner, and I put a question in there that kind of supports all of the businesses in our industry, meaning the beauty and barber industry. And first, let me say thank you, because this has been amazing. You've heard from a bunch of our folks in our industry on the call. But more specifically, as an organization, is there a way that, because we support a group of over 200 businesses, is there a way that we could talk to Comcast or figure out a way how this program could work for our industry specific and our organization so that we could have some hands-on support with this whole process, with making sure advertising happens, making sure as minorities, because as you guys know, Black and brown businesses, we spend a lot of money in the beauty industry, right? But we are unrepresented. So how can we kind of partner maybe with the RISE or on a different level to kind of expose the minorities in this industry, especially because we invest so much in it? James, I'll put that to you, and Ms. Marla, you guys, thank you so much for, opening the mic and having this, because it's really helping us. Thank you.
So Tina, just a little bit more about your organization. Is it a nonprofit that helps the beauty care industry for minority owners? Is that what? So
Yes, and we have Ann Turner, who's our president, on the call. It is a nonprofit. We actually have two arms, nonprofit and for-profit, but we help our beauty industry professionals.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So in that case, that would be handled by our community impact team. They work with nonprofits and like companies like yourselves who help bigger swaths of the community. So I can through Marla, if you kind of put us in touch, I can reach out to that division because they're the same people who work with Marla and the PDIC.
Awesome. Thank you, James. And Ms. Marla, she's always helping us, so I'm quite sure she'll make the connection.
She helps everyone, let me tell you.
She's amazing.
Tina keeps me on my toes. Tina and Ann, they keep me on my toes, let me tell you. Okay, let's see who I'm going to call on next. Okay, I'm going down this list. Atia Havens. We're going to unmute Atia. And let me say, it doesn't have to be someone who has applied. We want to hear your feedback from today if you're interested in applying. So let's try that. Everyone who's interested in applying, use the raise hand function. Can we unmute Atia?
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm driving and Zooming all at the same time.
All right, so let's do this. You just listen for right now, and and we'll come back when you can stop.
All right, I'll raise my hand when I get central.
Great. Let's unmute. Sure. Let's unmute Lisa Dawn Rogers. Lisa Dawn.
Hi guys. So I added a question to the chat. I was the one that asked a question about a new technology business to support and promote small businesses in my neighborhood. Is it possible, this is not a brick and mortar, it's an online company or digital platform, and it's under 1 year. So because it's not brick and mortar, I just wanted to clarify, because I saw the response that I'm not able to apply. Does that still stand for my particular business value prop?
Yeah, so if you're under a year, you can't apply. The business has to be established for at least a year in order for you to qualify. So if you established yourself this year, you can apply at the anniversary of next year. So yeah, and it wouldn't necessarily matter if you were brick and mortar or mobile, or even a home-based business, depending on what award you might qualify for. So so yeah, on your anniversary next year, I would definitely welcome you to apply for one of the services at that time.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for the clarification.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just think about that. How many programs do you know you don't qualify today, but the program is still going to be in place a year from now? And so stay connected. I'll add this also. If you are not on the PIDC mailing list, please make sure you, Marcus, if you could put the URL or Arthur for PIDC, put that in the chat. Please go on our website, make sure you're signing up for the newsletter, and you can hear and learn everything that we're doing. And again, as a partner with Comcast, we will continue to give you information on everything that's coming up. Okay, let's see. Falani Irvine. Can we unmute Falani?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Falami Irvine, and my business is Precious Jewels Prevention Program. I provide mentoring service in schools, and I've been doing them virtually online. African American veteran-owned business. I initially started out as a volunteer after working with young ladies that had juvenile life. So right now I'm doing pop-up sister circles in the community right now to deal with the violence that we have. And I also do virtual sister circles in California, and New York. So I've been doing it virtually because that's where I get most of my pay from, but not too much here in Philadelphia. And I guess I probably would need help with promoting this. Like, I've been out here for a while, but they say sometimes a prophet is not appreciating their own home. I don't know Philly, but if I go to New York and Cali, I get it, but I don't know what happens here in Philly.
So have you been in business? You've been in business for more than a year, right?
Yes.
Okay. So and you are a for-profit?
Yes.
Okay. So I would definitely apply. And when you would apply, I would say that probably check off, unless you already have a 30-second commercial spot ready to go, I would probably check off creative as your award that you'd be interested in, because I think that, as you heard from some of the other folks who have been awarded commercial spots, I think especially in the Philly area, you have an awareness, potential awareness issue that, a television spot might be able to help. So I would probably recommend that, that you apply and put in for the Creative and Media Award.
Thank you. Thank everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, Mr. James, I do have a question. Is Comcast doing like an event for all the awardees at their location in Philadelphia anytime soon? Or is that something you're considering? Or could you consider?
Yeah, it's funny because we have a bunch of cities that people have asked about that. And unfortunately, right now, because of still our, as great as Comcast is, they are still an ultra conservative company when it comes to legalities. So setting up a in-person event during COVID, times is still still a big no-no. But in theory, if we weren't in COVID times, we would absolutely be hosting a meet and greet with, the community of winners at the center, downtown in the Comcast Center, et cetera. Yeah, you bet you on that. So hopefully.
So what about virtual? I think, because I'm looking at all the small businesses, and our network has gotten stronger based on the information David just gave and Ms. McKell gave. Those are the kind of things that if we are all awarded, I think we all add value and learn from each other.
Yeah. Well, one thing that we have through a recent relationship and partnership, again, with our community investment group, we actually did create, I don't know, hopefully you guys all got, the winners all got the email about the Eureka program. So that program specifically, we created because of the community aspect for Comcast RISE winners. So we wanted to not just connect you guys with each other in Philly, but we also wanted to connect you guys across the country with other Comcast RISE winners, so that you guys, and it's interesting because we feel like the cities themselves will start breaking out within the community. So it'll be like Comcast RISE Philly within the Eureka platform. So that is going to naturally occur. But right now, anybody who's a winner, on this panel, or anybody else who's listening, please sign up for it's free, but it's only open to anybody who's been awarded, a Comcast RISE recipient service award. But the theory would be that each city would kind of also break out. So you'd have your bigger Comcast RISE community, and then within that community, you'd have like Philly specifically who could, call out, and you guys could kind of, either, and truthfully, organically, you could set up something too. You didn't hear that from me.
And you'll come and invite.
Yeah, you didn't hear that from me, but I'm just a quick train right away. I'm just saying. So
let's see. So Zena Johnson Patrick, you've got your hand up too. Let's unmute Zena. Zena, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We sure can.
Good morning. I'm also a member of PPIA. And I was also interested in applying. When you said raise your hand if you want to apply, I applied for the first 2 rounds and I didn't get funded, but I'm going to apply again. I didn't realize I could apply as many times as I would like. But through the support of Ann Turner and PPIA and my other cohorts that are on the line, as well as Natalie McNeil, Monique, there's so many of us together. We work together as a cohesive group, and they encouraged me to go ahead and apply again.
And I would also suggest that you work with PPIA to make sure your application is being responsive to the guidelines.
Yes.
Because so many, if you've been turned down twice, we don't want you to apply a third time and get turned down if what's getting you turned down doesn't change. So make sure Ann and Tina and the rest of the PPIA team is reviewing your application before. Listen, you can talk to any of these panelists. David Sims is on the line, Cecilia's on the line, Mikkel is on the line. Talk to any of those who have already won. Go through your application and make sure the application is correct.
I was just not selected. I wasn't rejected. I just was not selected. Unfortunately, you got the email. You were not selected to be awarded at this time. That's what my email said.
Can I add something, Marla? May I?
Sure.
Okay, so because James opened up the door about Eureka, I'm just going to let the floodgates pour the water out. So he talked about Eureka, and this is for everyone that's listening in. Eureka has tons of grants. Eureka has been having grants for the last year. Eureka has grants that are specifically targeted and designated for minority women in business. When I think about grants, I don't think about the pandemic is over. I think about how it is that I can continue to sustain my business. So for anyone in here that may be a restaurateur or caterer or something like that, and I don't want to take away and unshine the light on Comcast, I just want to share the information. PepsiCo has a new restaurant revitalization grant that I was a recipient of. I suggest everyone that's on the panel, because we're sharing information, the first thing is you have to be consistent in your information. The second thing is I would suggest that you create a folder so that you're not looking for those documents when those grants come out. Third of all, list the information that you have and make sure that it's the same information that you put on the last application. And fourth, and very important, well, 2 more things. Fourth is, as Marla taught me, read. It's more than just fundamental. You have to read through those applications, go into a quiet room. Sometimes I stay at my job till after midnight because those applications are dropping at 12:01. So with that being said, no one is here at my restaurant at 12:01 a.m. I just take a nap around 9 o'clock and then jump in and do those applications. But the fifth thing, something that I've experienced, is if they are requiring a second round of information, I implore you to check your spam folder, because if they ask you for a second round of information and you are not available, or you don't have that information, or you missed that email because it's a deadline, you will miss out on a grant. Last year, Hennessy had a grant called Unfinished Business, and I missed that. So I missed $10,000. But guess what? I started checking my spam, and you can put in grants for small business, grants for African Americans, grants for women. Somebody named me the grant guru. I'll take that title, but the money is out there. Everybody go get it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And yes, Comcast is definitely not the only show in town, nor would we want to say that we were. We want you guys to get every single grant out of every single corporation that is known to man. So please keep your eyes open. I will also add, Eureka is a great resource in general for grant information. I will also say another one of our partners called I Fund Women. They are an excellent source, and they are specific to women-owned businesses, small businesses as well. They are a key partner of ours as well. They have a multitude and wealth of information in regards to other grant programs that are specific to women business owners as well. So yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to mute everyone until we can get some other people. So let's see, who are we going to call on now? Darlene Jones. Can we unmute Darlene Jones? Darlene, are you there? Okay, if we don't hear from Darlene, who's going to come up next? Franklin Drummond Jr. Can we unmute Franklin, please?
Hello, can everyone hear me?
We sure can.
Oh, there we go. All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm really excited for this opportunity. Soon as I get a chance this evening, once I finish work, I am going to fill out the application. I am a member of the of Miss Ann's group, the PPIA. I'm a barber for 20 years. I opened my own shop and beauty salon with my wife in 2019, just like 4 months before the pandemic. So we have been on the, hard side of, getting our business back established and coming back out of the pandemic. So this opportunity will definitely help us with moving forward with our business.
That's great. And remember, anybody who needs support, especially with PPIA, you have strong advocates in your leadership. So make sure you're reaching out to them. Also, any of these panelists, Cecilia has put her email address in the chat. Make sure you're taking advantage of all of that support. Who are we going to call on next? Ping Yi. Can we unmute Ping Yi? Ping Yi, can you unmute yourself?
Oh, okay. So I thought, hi everyone. So I'm sorry, what was your question? You asked me to introduce our business, or
introduce your business and tell us if you have been a recipient, and if not, has today's webinar convinced you to apply?
Sure. I have already asked a bunch of questions on chat or the Q&A section, and James already answered my questions. We are sharing. I'm based in Philadelphia, the Chinatown area. So before the pandemic, we were offering Chinese dumpling cooking classes, Chinese calligraphy classes, and a Philly Chinatown tour. Where our mission is to share Asian culture and the food with everyone. Locally or incoming visitors who visit in Philadelphia. So I have applied for this grant, Comcast RISE program last quarter, but we got rejected. So I was pretty discouraged. After attending today's section, I plan to reply. Particularly I heard there's a lot of chances, 1,200 offered recipients each quarter. So I appreciate the encouragement from James. We definitely gonna apply. So that's me. I'm open to questions if you have any.
Well, Ping, thank you so much. And we're glad to hear, and we're glad to hear what happened to you, because so many business owners will apply, they won't get the award, and they'll get discouraged and they won't reapply. And so we know, just in general, if Jim Hale is still on this line, I'm not sure, but with the 10,000 Small Businesses program with Goldman Sachs, I can't tell you the number of businesses that applied initially that got turned down, reapplied, and got in. And so I'm singing to the choir if I tell you, as business owners, you can't give up after the first, rejection. You just got to hang in there. Okay, let's see. Who are we calling on next? How about Patty Wong? Patty, let's unmute Patty. Hi, Patty.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. I heard about this program before, but I'm a CPA. So I try to look into what other program help my client mostly. And I did a lot of, I help my client get a lot of PPP, restaurant grant, EIDL, all kinds of stuff. Especially, I'm an Asian woman. So a lot of Asian business person, the language is a problem. So they don't understand a lot of stuff. Therefore, they don't know how to apply a lot of stuff. Since I'm a CPA, I'm a number person, whatever they require, pretty much I already have their number. If they're asking for revenue, most of the time I just look at, when I see a program come up, I just go to my client list and see who qualify first. And then if they qualify, then I talk to them. I say, hey, there's a program out here. Do you want me to apply? So I'm not sure you're gonna get it or not, but at least we try. That's all. That's what I did. So actually during this past year, I was so busy helping clients to apply, like I say, all kind of loan, like even Philadelphia, the restaurant and gym, Pennsylvania restaurant thing.
That's right.
Yes, all kind of program. I think I didn't do the calculation. Probably my client already got $10 million or more, maybe. I don't even know. I'm still working for ERC. I still have money out there. People just don't understand. I was so surprised that I was a CPA, and also I was a federal auditor for 20 some years. So, and also I surprised about other CPA in the community don't even know I'm not helping client. So I have one new client coming in, and I just look at his book. Oh my goodness, I realized that he probably losing. I mean, beside all the other grant already passed, I can't go back in time. So I just told this new client, I say, look, I can go back some of the grant or credit you missed. Probably is already $60,000. Do you know that? He didn't know that, and he was so thankful that he found me. And then I said, because I work at home, I don't go out advertise, and most of my client is from all people referral. So, and it's just one of his friends referred to me. I said, okay, let's take a look, and I find out. I say he probably missing $60,000 credit that no one helped them. That's very sad, So I do think a lot of not only Asian people, probably some American people, they don't even know a lot of grant or or credit they are missing. So,
you're right. And so Patty, we thank you. And let me tell you what we're going to do. Arthur and I are going to be in contact with you after the webinar today. So make sure we get all of your information. You can even put your email address in the chat, because just like you said, you help everybody, and everybody needs financial support. Make sure you're putting your email address. Patty said she was a federal auditor for years and years. She's a CPA, and that is a much needed service for all small businesses. So Patty, make sure you're putting your website or the name of your service and your email address for everyone who was on today's webinar. And Arthur and I will certainly make sure we follow up with you.
I sent you my email, Patty. I would love to connect. Yeah, and thank you for providing that important service of just, alerting your businesses or any business of the grants available.
Yeah, I just put in my email on the chat, so hope you guys see it.
Yep,
we see it, and we'll be in contact. Thanks. And Patty, don't forget, you qualify also. So, or you should be eligible. So make sure you're applying for yourself.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I try to learn too. From my personality, when I do things, I like to win. So anything, I like to make sure I understand the program, how's that work. You got to prepare yourself. You can't just apply and waste your time. So that's how I am. So before I do anything, actually, this is the second time I attend the webinar. I just kind of see what's going on. Is there something worth for me to invest my time? But I just got something for the iFund woman. Right now, I'm on this website now. I'm looking at something. I say, oh, okay, wow, there's a lot of things here. I still have a lot to learn too, even though I've been a CPA and auditor for over 20 some years. You never stop learning. There's so many things out there. So I'm happy if I can help anybody.
Thank you, Patty. And again, so these webinars are just chock full of information. James gave us iFund Women, and we put that information in the chat. Patty said she already picked it up. Also for Eureka, even though Comcast partnered with the award recipients, Eureka is open. And so I connected with Eureka on yesterday. And so I and the one of the co-founders, we're trying to get together because I want to see how PIDC can promote Eureka with our clients. And so James is just full of information. So let's see who else we're going to call on. P. Michael Boone. We're going to unmute P. Michael Boone.
Hey, how's everybody doing? My name is P. Michael Boone.
We're wonderful. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm glad I'm on this call right now. I'm also a member of PPIA. So I stand in solidarity with my hair salon, hairstylists and barbers. I am a barber and I'm a barber teacher, and I applied for this grant twice, and I got shot down, and I was discouraged. I wasn't going to apply this again until I joined the webinar today. And after hearing, the stories and hearing how it's common to be, to not be awarded and then to also apply again. And so I do believe 3 times the charm. 3 is my lucky number. So I'm going to apply again. I'm more encouraged to do that. And I am thankful I got on this call, and I'm thankful I'm listening to so many great people and all this great knowledge.
I have to say, James his presence here and his presence in Comcast is so critical to what is happening to the BIPOC community. James is a senior executive inside, advocating on your behalf, right? And that's not to say it wouldn't happen without him. Maybe somebody else would step up and doing it. But James is the point person on the inside of Comcast RISE who is pushing this initiative, who is, as you said, he said they're thinking of other things that they can do. So you don't have someone who is just being bureaucratic and telling you about what somebody else has decided. James is the decision maker. He's the one making this stuff happen. And so we are so fortunate, and I am so glad, P. Michael Boone, that you joined us today again. This speaks to the advocacy by Ann Turner, Tina Peltzer, and everyone within that community of personal care that doesn't usually get a lot of attention, right? Not by the establishment. And so if you look at that recipient list of awardees, it's full of barbers like you, stylists like Ann. And so I am so glad that you were not discouraged, that you're back here. And again, before you put that app time, make sure PPIA is working with you to make sure, or any of our panelists, make sure you're touching base to see if there's something in the application that is a red flag, right? So just keep applying, but just make sure another set of eyes is looking at that application.
Yeah, and I will say, and you know, again, always learning, always growing. Realize that if you're not selected, that don't take it personal. Because again, if we have 6,500 applications and we only have 1,200 spots in that quarter, then again, from those 6,500, there might be 3,000 that are, you know, equal. Let's say everybody's equal. Out of those 3,000, we have to select 1,200. And when I say we, it goes into almost like a lottery system at that point. So it's not about your business personally. It's not about sometimes your answers. You could be spot on. It's just in the pool that we have to select from. I will say, just looking at the numbers this round, you know, I think because of the summer, I gotta be quite honest. I think because of the summer and people are a little bit more checked out or going on vacation, et cetera, that the applications are not tracking to the same number that we normally have. So there is a, you know, probably a higher potential, you know, in this round. But again, you know, all things being equal and your businesses are equal and your answers are equal, it might just come down to a, you know, a lottery at that point. But please, yes, absolutely reapply. We do not want to discourage anyone.
Yeah, and you know, I think I was more so on the lines of, I was happy to hear that people in my industry got it, and I was not upset that I didn't get it. Like you said, I did realize that, hey, y'all pulling from a big pool, and I'm okay with that. But I am happy to hear that people in my industry got it, so I'm sharing them along. I'm grateful, and I am going to try again, and I'm going to do exactly what you just said. I'm going to allow somebody else to look at it, give it another set of eyes, because maybe something is off and I don't know. And I'm happy to hear that the pool is definitely different this time. The numbers are different. So good luck. I'm wishing the best. I'm wishing and hoping the best. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. I'm going to stop with the questions. I'm going to turn this back over to my colleague, Arthur Jimenez. Take it away, Arthur. It's 11:27. We've got 3 minutes.
Yeah, thanks, Marla, for really opening it up. And yeah, again, I encourage you to apply July 31st. You know, James, thank you again for really advocating for, you know, this BIPOC community here and really giving us some insight on how to apply and to reapply. And yeah, don't be discouraged. You know, and yeah, so again, thanks for everyone's time. Thank you for the panelists' time. They're really, you know, taking your time to your busy day. Really appreciate it. And, you know, giving us all the insight in your process and how you applied and how the services have benefited you. So thanks, everyone. And I think we put our email address there if anyone has like any last minute questions, but I think that's it. We'll wrap it up for today. Thank you, James. Do you have any parting words, James?
Apply. We're really here for you, and we really want you guys to succeed. That's the bottom line of this program. We want to see you guys succeed.
Mr. James, can I ask you one last question? Because Darlene and I are neighbors on 63rd Street, and she couldn't talk because she was muted. But one of the things she did, she applied, she was accepted, but because she was so overwhelmed, she missed the deadline. Can she reapply, or does it give more sensitivity because she was awarded but didn't do the follow through because of her situation?
Yeah, she can reapply. She can reapply. Okay. What do you know what she won, perchance?
So she's Star Fusions. She raised her hand, but I know we're about to close out, but I didn't want to not address that. Star Fusions, can you say what you was awarded, Darlene?
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Good. I'm sorry about that. My phone was messed up earlier. I actually was awarded like they gave me like the 30-second video for like the Sixers game, and I honestly didn't even know that I got accepted.
Got it. Okay. So you know what? I can you send your info to either Ann and she'll get it to me and we can look into it on the back end?
Yes, that sounds great. I appreciate that. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you, Dora. Thank you so much, Mr. James.
No problem.
Great. Again, that's, you know, one of the critical, important reasons why James is here advocating for us and making things happen. So yeah, it's 11:30. Thanks again for your time. And thank you, Marlon, for setting us all up. Thank you, everybody, for attending. And have a pleasant day.
All right. Have a beautiful day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Go Philly!